evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Dinner with Orbs. I'm looking forward to cooking this evening's meal because it has a purpose. But before we do anything else, as usual, it's very hot in Cape Town this winter, so we have to replenish all our lost energies by drinking a little wine. Chardonnay we have today from Olive Brook. And you'll say, why on earth is there a purpose to this cooking show today? Actually, it's very simple, but it's very important. Last week, I was appalled to witness something which all South Africans should be appalled by. So I'm going to do 4 shows dedicated to South Africans with one purpose in mind, is to teach them the South African national anthem. And the reason it's 4 parts is because the anthem is 4 parts. So today we do the Zulu part of the national anthem. And Mr. Ard, whatever his name is, should pay serious attention to this part. And I'm sure he does not need to take too much attention in the second part, because obviously he has learned that very well. So here goes. Nkosi sikeleli Afrika, maluphakanyisa uphondo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu. Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo. Part 1. Next week, part 2. Now today's recipe is very simple, spiced butternut soup. And the reason it's spiced is whenever I've had it before, it's usually quite sweet and sickly, and you go home feeling like you've had a dessert more than anything else. But mine is not so sweet. So chop up your beautiful butternut, and I've peeled it. It took me just a few seconds to peel, and you don't need to be taught how to peel, I hope, by this stage. And little cubes of about 1 centimeter each, like that. And you usually lose a few, as you just saw there. But don't worry about it. I've got 2 small butternuts here, but you can use a large one if you're feeding just yourself and a couple of friends. But we're generous people, so we're doing lots and lots of cream and lots of butter and nutmeg and onions and stock and sherry. There we go. So chop that lot out, and I've got some stock on the boil, and I'll merely put this whole lot in there for half an hour until it's soft. Butternut should be covered by the stock, but not more than just covering. That'll be the perfect amount for the soup later. Put the lid on, cook for half an hour. Get your onions ready, and all you need is 2 medium onions. It's a beautiful onions. Chop them up, not too finely, because as you know, the soup will get blended, so you will not need to worry too much about that. It's starting to sound more like soup as opposed to boiling water. And so you know it's ready to take out. That deep as opposed to a... And they'll say, what on earth is he talking about? But I know what I mean in my head. That's when I know the soup is nearly ready. Turn the heat off, get your colander, and don't, for goodness sake, put this in the sink. You need the bowl to catch the liquid, because we use it in the soup. Strain that as it is. And I used a very nice vegetable stock. You could use a chicken stock if you wished. I wouldn't use anything stronger like beef or lamb, because that would be too powerful. And there we go. So put that on the heat. Put your hob on. First thing we do is put a little olive oil in the bottom, because it's quite hot. And if I didn't do that, the butter would burn immediately. So beautiful. And you put some your onions in there. One of my most favorite sounds is of onions sizzling in a pool of delicious butter. And to chop it up, all you need to do is merely run through it with a knife once or twice. In the meantime, we get our red onion ready, and you'll say, why has he got red onion now? Actually, what I like to do with the soup on top as a garnish is to use a little caramelized red onion. And it gives a lovely speck on the beautiful golden, yellowy, sweet butternut. Garlic, and it'll only need about a minute to cook. Stir it in, and you can see we're beginning to get you can almost see through the onion if you had extreme teaspoonful. Some chili flakes, as hot as you like it, so I reckon half a teaspoon should do, but they're not too strong. Handful of dry, and the final flourish of my favorite flavor in the whole world, some nutmeg. And these you can get in all the shops these days, so just grate in about a quarter of the nutmeg, 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. Give it a little stir, and the final moment, of course, is when our butternut returns to its home, and in it goes, as it is. And dinner will be served in just a few minutes, and you'll see the lovely colours which will come through from the bottom if I do that. There we go, golden onion and the thyme specks, and it smells very inviting indeed. Orange, and just the zest is what we want. So zest your orange generously over the top. And so I have here a nice medium dried cherry, which I can't open. Nice local stuff, quarter of a cup. And a bit. Let that cook for a couple of seconds. With the lid on. Where the hell is the lid now? So all you need to do now is blend the soup. And these are very good because you can use them in the same pot as you've cooked it. And start gently because it can be a messy affair. And remember I said leave the stock handy. Now is the time to add a little bit more to loosen it up. And you'll notice the cream goes in right at the end just to heat it through, otherwise you might have burnt cream and it will go lumpy on you and it will be absolute disaster. Now goes the cream, and I would use not too much cream in this because it is after all butternut soup, not cream soup. So a pot to start with. You mustn't be too shy if you are not too worried about your waistline. So another half a pot. Okay, just have a nice bowl and ladle as generous an amount of butternut, spiced butternut soup as the heart desire. And I think that looks very good to me. And of course, don't forget your nice caramelized red onions, which you will just place on top there like that. And you'll see the contrast of colors. That's what we want. And the textures and the flavors. And your parsley. And of course, it would be absolutely ridiculous not to add a little bit more cream. That white speck around the edge will do the job. And you have to taste it. It's a messy affair. All it needs is some beautiful German bread. And tear it up like that. Don't get a knife out. What on earth for? And you can be very cheeky. And have a sloppy supper. Beautiful. Enjoy.